Welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith, and we're in this nice clean shop because we cleaned it up for the giveaway, and now we're ready to start dirtying it up again. I have this split case here. This happens to be off I believe it's a Merc, I think that's what it says, Mercury, and somewhere around the 70-90 horsepower. We have two studs sticking out and two bolts that go in this way here, holding this end piece here. I don't know what it holds on the other side here, but we have one bolt that's out, we have one bolt that's broke off. This customer is a friend, it's more of a friend. This you know, hey, if I get that out for him and send him on down the road, he's going to be smiling, and that's the name of the game here. So I said I told him I'd give it a shot. And of course I can stick it in the mill, and I can go drill, center it, and we can get down in there and possibly drill down through there, get it out of there, put in a helical or whatever. The other one came out pretty good, and the threads don't look too bad down in there. I think I'm going to attempt to weld up on this, then take a nut, put it on here, and weld to the nut, generate enough heat to go down in there, expand it when it cools down. We're going to have a little disruption in that rust and corrosion that's between the stainless and the aluminum, and we're just making a quickie here. We know that you guys are all chomping at the bit. This come in the shop, and it's been sitting here. I think it's been sitting here a couple days just because here I have plenty of other stuff to go, but I need to just go ahead and get this done real quick, get it on its way, and we can concentrate on some of the jobs that are a little bit bigger. And so let's bring you in and get you a little closer. I'm gonna also bring in this little dude here and put it down, and we're gonna see if we can get you a good view of the puddle as I'm bringing it up off the top of that stud. Whether we can or not, that's yet to happen, but we're gonna make that as an attempt. So let me bring you in a little closer so you're not so distant, and bring you into the project instead of on me, and let's get her done. Alright, I think I pretty much have everything here. Let's see, I got my gloves, and then the ones I like to weld with, they're getting kind of cruddy. It's about time to start changing that, but not for this job. Alright, now this is just an old broken on bolt here, and it's really nothing important, and we're not going to try to save it, but we are going to try to grab a hold of it and get it out of there. All of this surface right around here you can see is frothed up a little bit, and some gasket remainder of some of the gasket itself, some goop and glue and things like that. We did pull the gasket out of this side here. We didn't know if we wanted to reuse it. Probably not. I wouldn't. I'd put all new gaskets, but I just removed it so it wouldn't get damaged or burned up. This is far enough away here, this rubber hose. Kind of always want to pay attention to what else is on here. We can just, that pops off easy enough. We can put it in there. Alright, and we're going to take a wire wheel and we're going to clean this up here. Alright, so we got our cup wire wheel. We already got it set up here, and it's already plugged in. And it's got a stainless steel wire cup on here. We do a lot of marine shafting. We clean the marine shafting, the growth and everything else on it with stainless steel. And that way we don't embed steel into the marine shafting stuff, and this will be the same thing. We don't want to embed steel into the aluminum here, so that's why we're using a stainless steel brush. Now all I'm going to do is just clean around this area right here. And I'm trying to come in at all angles so that I can get as much of the corrosion right at that bolt itself. And then kind of aluminum, we're not welding the aluminum, but if we were welding aluminum sucks dirt in from far away, and also too that aluminum oxidization that's around the bolt, that actually jumps into the stainless steel weld as well, and it kind of just makes it all nasty. So we want to try to keep it as pure as possible, because we're going to build up to it, and we want the material we're adding to that broken bolt to be as solid as if it was a bolt. Alright, I think think that's gonna do. All right, and we'll take a picture of that so that we got a close-up of it being clean here. And then we'll turn on our welder, set up our clamp and everything else, and we'll be good to go. Okay, I'm about ready to go here. I got the welder on. We're using argon. This is 3/32 tungsten sharp point. I'm using 309 rod. I like 309 because no matter what this material is in stainless back alloy, I know that this 309 is going to take to it, and I can add up to it, and then from that 309 I can then weld a steel nut or stainless nut or whatever. I picked out 2 nuts here because I brought out originally this half-inch. Half-inch might be a little bit big, so I got the 7/16. Just depending on, you know, about the diameter of the blob I'm going to put on here. So, all right, let's go ahead and I'm going to get the other camera moved in here. I'm going to be bringing it in, and it's going to be setting somewhere around in here so we get a good eyeball on that. One thing I overlooked that I need to do right now, you do need a good ground, and we are going to put the ground clamp on this section down here. I was thinking of clamping it here, which is bare metal, but I don't want to arc out on a mating surface of any kind. So I'm going to grab on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off now. Now I know that the ground clamp will get a good bond on both sides, and that's one of the most important things on setting up a weld, I think, is making sure that that ground is solid. Not that I don't cram the clamp on there sometimes and try to go without it, and that's why I'm letting you know, because it has proven to me every time, if I have a problem, the first place to look is your ground, and then from there you can go to other areas of what might be the problem. All right, I think we're pretty well set. We're gonna switch over. I kind of like the Tillman 730 gloves here myself. Just a good, short, nice grip. They aren't the cleanest. They're about ready to be replaced, and but I don't need clean gloves to do this project. All right, now I'll move in my camera and we'll get ready to go. All right. I've got the camera in place, and I do have to make sure that I'm clicking this on right at the moment, because this is an old Elite helmet. Before everything changes on our settings there, we're going to go for it. Alright, and I just kind of get a globular on the end of it there, and it looks nice and shiny. Kind of give it a little swirl. Alright, and I'm going to let that cool. I just know that I'm a good bond on there. Okay, just get it nice and glowing. And a nice little blob on there, and then I kind of back up on my temperature. And then I just give a blob, like a drip castle. Once in a while you can just floor it just a little bit. Get it to roll or sag. Get another one on there. Get a little floor, little sag. Okay, we're going to take a look at that. about half the depth of the nut there. Take a picture with our other camera here so you can see what that looks like. Alright, I hope our camera's doing okay. Alright, we want to bring it up a little bit more, but see, by sagging it you get to spread it out a little bit. Now I'm overhanging on this side here, but I'm not on this side, so I'm going to bring it a little bit more towards that side with my heat. Okay. Doesn't want to arc right away. There we go. We can bring in a little bit more to that side. Okay, looks pretty tall. Keeping it slender so you can get the smallest nut on there, like that. I like that. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to join the top of that nut with that weld bead that I brought up. I'm going to bring it over. Once I join it, kind of walk it around. A little bit both ways. Now just make sure that it stays nice and hot. Alright, now we're going to let that cool down. This is cooled down now, so I can get my hand all the way around there. That I just want to make sure it normalized, meaning the weld area and that stud is equal or close to the temperature of the aluminum casting here. Now I'm just giving this a little bit, and of course I think I'm gonna have to probably clamp this thing down. Oh no, I got a little bit of I think I'm gonna go ahead and clamp this down. I thought I got a little bit of motion out of here, and I probably want to heat this up with the torch, heat the aluminum up a little bit so I can get a little bit more expansion on that versus just trying it at this temperature right now. But I'm getting a little bit of movement on there. Hey, I've done that before, and I've been ripping the weld right off of it. So with that said, let's go ahead and set this up over on the jig table there by the torches, and then we'll give it a go with some heat there, and also holding it down to the table. Okay, we came over to our jig table where we got tapped holes in this table. You've seen us build this table in one of my earlier videos, and I got a couple toe clamps. I had to put a shim under here because this little ear over here is not parallel to the flatness of the rest of the ears on that side there, so I shimmed it up so it would be. Now I can go ahead and I can grab this and I can put the wrench on here, and it does feel like it's moving slightly, but I don't want to force it because I want to make sure that I'm getting this out kind of in one part, in one session here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to warm up this side. This hole right here actually tells me that right in that area right there, it's no more material than that valley to that inner diameter of that through hole right there, where a bolt goes through probably to hold the split line here. Looks like these are split line bolt, case bolt holes. And so I'm just going to get a little temperature going here, and I'm going to flash this on right in here so I can heat up this area of the aluminum. It'll grow. And I'm able to rock it back and forth, but I want to make sure. It could just go all right in there. This other side here has got a hole or a cavity in it, so I don't think the heat would do much over there. But it definitely does something over on this side here. Trying to be a little patient with it. If it is going, it's not just twisting that. I've had it twisting the metal up before, give you the false sense that it's moving, but this one here really does feel like it's moving. I see a gap behind the nut now, so if I start getting it free enough, I might stop, let it cool down. Put some thread buster or something in there. Okay, we got a leak there. We're gonna let it cool down again. I do see a little bit of a gap behind it. See if I can get a picture of that. All right, we'll let that normalize a little bit, and I'm going to squirt it with some Buster, see if we can get in there and see if it'll go once it gets down to room temperature. Okay, I can almost hold my hand on it. This is about as cool as I have patience for waiting on, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and squirt some Buster in there. This is just rust bust. kind of see we had in the shipyards. I wish it had a bottom hole or something you could put it in here so that it would really work in there. But that's a good sign that I'm getting almost 3/4 of a turn of motion in here. I'm seeing about 1.5 threads under this nut now. There we go. And it looks pretty clean. And that's a good sign. If this is looking pretty clean, then I didn't drag out any threads. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and unclamp this, wipe up my mess here, and I'll meet you over at the weld table. Okay, we went and got a tap. Came on over here to the table here. And we're just trying to cruise on down through this threaded area here with a bottoming tap. And I found I took the wire wheel, kind of went around this, and I verified. I wasn't sure if this was metric or this was SAE, and it figured out to be SAE threads on it. But a lot of the newer outboards and stuff like that are all metric. And there again, I just measured these. These were standard as well, but and these could have been redone, but they look like stock holes to me. This is a pretty old unit here. Okay, a little longer, we could use that as the bolt. All right, and I'll get a picture of that thread. It does look a little better on one side. It does look a little worn or wiped, and we'll see what the customer thinks about the hole there. If we need to add the helical in, or if he wants to put it in. He just wanted to get this out. Okay, this saved us from getting on the mill table and clamping it down and locating center and drilling, tapping, and picking and all of that. And of course, this job is for a friend, and I'm giving it to him. Merry Christmas, there you go. Even if it wasn't the holidays and I give somebody something, sometimes I say either happy birthday or I say Merry Christmas. And that's when I'm giving it to him. The question is, what is a job like this worth? Well, this is worth whatever it takes you to go in and at least set up and do the mill work in the mill, and because you're able to go ahead and put a little weld on there, build it up, and create a little bit of heat scenario, shrink and compress, and and break down the grip of the rust and the corrosion and get it out of there is worth everything that it would take you to go do the machine work. Just for food for thought, because that's not, you know, somebody will say, oh, well, you just welded it and then you got it out. Well, that job is worth just as much as the machinist in there on the mill. There's a lot of jobs like that around that can be done and charged out the same way. I mean, I could have just left it there. I could have went in the mill and drilled it and got it out that way as well. Just kind of comparing labor scenarios for the jobber. You know, maybe I didn't want to drill, so I went ahead and did this trick. I tell you what, you know, you go and you locate and you drill and you get some out, and the fun, you know, you can work yourself right out of the fun. You can do it so many times one way, and it might seem like it's a little boring. Throwing in a little bit different, if you can get it out without actually going and toe clamping on the mill and stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, it's worth every bit of the same money in there. Consciously, what you charge, that's up to you. And you know, if it's a repeat customer, a really good customer, hey, you might give it to them. You know, if it's a one time, you're not going to see them again or whatever. You know, that's worth every bit of the machine shop coming in and drawing it out. All right, there's a quickie for you. Get her done.